Now, I'm not easily offended, I'm open-minded, I believe strongly in freedom of speech and expression, and I have a pretty dark sense of humour. But going into your college brandishing multiple imitation firearms and terrifying the public a day after a crazed gunman shot up a school and killed 15 people is a bit indecorous even for me. This is PC 338 Nadeem Nowrung of Norfolk Constabulary, and he did exactly that. The incident made national press, and I'll link the news article in the description. Just to be clear, this happened back in 2009 before Nowrung joined the police. He was let off very lightly by the judge, who handed him 120 hours community service where he could have sentenced him to up to a year in prison, and he commented, "It beggars belief that anybody with the remotest amount of sense could do this. What you did was absolutely absurd. It was obviously inappropriate." Despite having a criminal conviction for a firearms offence, Norfolk Constabulary went on to recruit Nowrung. In fairness, everyone makes mistakes and does stupid things, especially when young, and one would have hoped that Nowrung would have learned his lesson and grown into a well-rounded and decent young man. But of course, he joined the cesspit that is Norfolk Constabulary instead. And in fact, when I first met the now PC 338 Nowrung on 18/12/21 at the Livestock Market protest, despite tutoring another officer, PC 2298 Alum, he was so obnoxious, discriminatory and unprofessional that I took his warrant number and did some digging, which is what led me to discover his criminal record. I'll play my footage of my first encounter with Nowrung and let me know if you think the police made the right decision in letting this man become a police officer. Just for context, as this starts filming, you can see me and one other activist who had just broken off from the main protest to go and get some footage of the market itself. And you can see Nowrung and Alum stalking us everywhere we went and ignoring us when we asked why. We were also being followed by farmer Mike Fox, who spent the whole morning encroaching on activist space, getting on our faces and making false claims that we were harassing him and the police whilst they were the ones following us.
You idiot. Don't you want to stop them as well? Do you follow the farmers around? Why are you ignoring me? I'm asking you a question.
That's really rude. I thought they were like public servants or
You're
something.
a public servant and you're ignoring us. Do you know how rude that is? Just get you.
We've clearly not got very strong police then, have we?
Did he say we were
Yeah.
You've been intimidated. He's patronising you. Document your documentation.
It's fine. I can't document you anyway, you're too scared to uncover your face.
Yeah, you are very scary.
I'm not scary.
Down there. Bless you. He thinks he scares me. Look at him, he's knee high to a grasshopper and he thinks I'm scared of him. Jesus Christ. Big one. Big light.
Yeah, this one. Daylight now.
Out.
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 Come on. Out.
Out. Ian. Oh, Ian. Not
Out.
a very good angle for you. Ow. Ow. It's civil trespass. We have implied permission to be here.
Yeah.
Isn't that intimidating a police
Your
officer?
job,
Get
not
over
mine.
here and film Ian intimidating this police
Why?
officer.
Yeah, I really do need you to be working and making sure that you're doing the job.
Their job is to police impartially, which they haven't done for the last 3 years.
I really do need you to read over. Oh, they're getting about that. Some very, very upset farmers this morning. They're a bit sulky. A little bit sulky. These sulky animal abusers.
I didn't do that, he did.
Could you make sure that he doesn't interfere with our business, please? Because he's antagonising everybody.
You don't get that on camera.
What are you doing?
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I will.
What are you doing?
Have you got your body warms on? No. Did you? Well, we'd like to see your footage because when I went on the bonnet of that white car.
Mine wasn't turned on then.
Right. Was yours turned on?
Probably out of battery.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, we can, because I want to obviously report that. Did you see it?
I've witnessed it, yeah.
You witnessed it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it.
There we go. Bit of honesty. Right, well, I'd like to report that then, please.
Okay, what would you like to report?
Being run over.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Can I
Yeah.
take your details?
Yep.
That's absolutely fine.
It's nice to be responded to.
Tax money's been put to the house.
Have you got any ID at all on you?
Yeah,
Yeah? Can I have that just to get your name and stuff off of it?
of course.
Sure that this is policed effectively, don't I?
So how will you know which car it was? So you're going to get him when he
I
comes
was-
out, or?
Standing here, wasn't I?
So you've got his
At the
reg?
time that it happened.
So have
I'll
you
be
got
able
his
to
reg?
ascertain his number plate.
How will you do that?
The same as what you would do. Stand here and I'll look at the number plates.
But he's in there.
Yeah, caller. Sorry about that, someone just called me.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. If you remind me after we're done with our task in here, just in case I forget, that'd be appreciated. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks very much. Cheers, bye. Bear with me a sec, Gemma. I'm just going to go and speak to my sergeant, alright?
Now that is what you call top quality service. What a fine representation of British policing.
What happened?
I think you should recite the oath of attestation. Do you know it? Do you know it? I think you should recite it. Go on. See how much of it you stand by. Integrity? Something about integrity? Was it something about integrity, impartiality? A couple of those words. Integrity and truth.
Comfortable with fairness, integrity, diligence, impartiality.
Here we go. Here we go. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Constable with fairness, integrity, diligence and impartiality, and that I will uphold fundamental human rights, and accord equal respect to all people according to the law. Do you do that? Oh, he can't look how she can't keep a straight face. Can't even keep a straight face.
I was told the person I was talking to was a sergeant today, but you look like you're a sergeant today. Can I have a quick word with you? Is that right? Yeah, please. I don't know if you were aware of the incident that just happened with the activist here. Where that vehicle drove into her.
I'm aware, but I was talking to
The other
a
one.
gentleman here,
Yeah.
so yes.
We've just spoken, obviously she's reported everything to the two officers
Oh, it
over
does
there.
really hurt actually,
about
Deb.
the fact that she was deliberately driven out. And we've said, you know, how are you going to deal with it? And they basically said they're not going to check who the driver was
Right.
while we're here.
Okay.
They're saying, because we've given them the index now, because they wouldn't get the index.
Right.
He
we've given
refused
them
to get the index. I said to him, how are you going to get... I made the complaint. I said, how are you going to go in there and speak to him? And he said, no. I said, well, how are you going to obtain his details? How are you going to know? And he said, oh, well, I'll just wait for him to drive out and get it then. And I said, well, what if you don't see him come out? There are cars coming in and out of there, and he was relying on the chance that he might happen to see him when he comes out.
And
he
also,
had no
as
interest.
I've said, we don't know that that person who's driving is necessarily registered to that vehicle. So you won't ever see that driver again. And if you don't speak to him and obtain who he is, how can you do a follow-up investigation?
I literally went over the bonnet. My
it's gotta
stomach
be one of
really
two-
hurts now.
What's your name, please?
Gemma.
Gemma.
I mean, it's got to be one of two offences. Either it's an accident and it's a personal injury accident, in which case it's got to be reported, or it was a deliberate act, in which case it was an
so
assault.
are you saying you're injured? Are you?
Yeah, he's my
And just
stomach
look,
feels so.
this is what the
probably gonna have
vehicle did.
bruises on my legs. He
Sorry.
literally I went over the bonnet and my stomach slammed onto the bonnet of the car, and my stomach really hurts. It feels like after you've been winded, it feels really uncomfortable
Okay.
and painful. And if it wasn't for the fact I was doing this, I would go home. You know, that's how uncomfortable my stomach now is. And those the officer over there, interest.
Injury-wise, just explain to me where you're saying that you are injured.
So my legs are probably bruised. They feel sore,
Okay.
and my
I appreciate
stomach.
you say probably bruised. Are they bruised?
Well, I
Have
haven't
you checked?
been able to
or-
look. When I get
Okay.
home, I will be looking, and I will be taking pictures if there are any bruises. And my stomach feels very painful and uncomfortable from the impact of the bonnet, because at a speed, you know, that's quite a hit.
And what speed were they going?
I couldn't tell you, I don't have a speedometer, but he was going quickly enough. He saw I was in the road and he drove straight into me, and my legs, he must have been going quite quickly because I can feel the impact on my legs.
What I will do then, what I will do is I will have those two, because they've spoken to you already. So I'll get them to fill out what we call a CR1, which is an accident book. All right, and I'll get them to obtain those drivers' details.
Right,
But
well,
at the
we've done
moment-
that now
Because they're saying they don't know whether this was an accident or deliberate. I mean, we
But
know
he
it's
said he
deliberate
saw it.
because she was driven out.
Yeah, but Deb, he saw it as well.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? He admitted that he saw the whole incident, and then he said, "Oh, I don't know if it's deliberate or accidental." I was standing in the road, right? The car saw me coming, and he drove into me. How is that not deliberate?
Okay.
It's either not deliberate or he's blind and he shouldn't be driving. There's no other option.
So I mean that's got to be investigated as a potential
So-
assault
so-
with a vehicle. But what we
So-
don't understand is we've made the allegation. You don't need a statement right now. You've got enough information. The officer saw it. We've videoed it.
So
This
have
lady's
you got
here.
video on your devices of
I've
that
got
particular incident?
something.
or-
Yeah, we've
It's
got
in the
bits
middle of
of it.
100 videos, so I shall have to look back at what
We
time
can
it
go
happened
through and get what we've
send
got.
it to
That's
you.
fine. That's fine.
But
It's not a
the
problem.
driver needs to be spoken to before he
So
leaves.
if you just let me finish. So what I've said to you is, because those two have already spoken to you, I'll get them to take relevant details from you. We'll fill in an accident book. I'll get them to obtain those driver details, and then based on we'll do our investigations on it. So it's not going to be concluded today, because it just doesn't
No,
happen
but as
like
long
that.
as, like I said, as long as the driver is approached and you confirm who he is,
Yeah.
because otherwise that's another
not got-
person
I've
that
not
could
got-
get away with.
I've not got
you know,
I've not got a
Go
problem
off
with
and do
that.
it to someone
I've not
else,
got a problem
couldn't
with
he?
that.
He's not had someone tell him. At least first off, you can't
So
go
I've
around
not
driving
got
people.
I've not got a problem with that. And like I say, the investigation will
Will
be
you recognise him if he comes out?
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
the investigation will be balanced against what you say, any videos that you might have, and also against what officers who were here may or may not say. Because unfortunately, I was speaking to the gentleman from the market at the time,
Yeah,
so
I know.
while my back is like this, I can't see what's happening there. It's just that unfortunate.
But they
moment
were in
of
a
timing.
prime position to see,
Okay,
and they
so,
did.
like I say, I'll speak to them. I know some of my other colleagues have seen bits and pieces, so I will.
I think it was just the fact that they were refusing to investigate
Yeah.
it. They were refusing to go in and speak to him.
They wouldn't
and it's
even talk
evidence
to me
of
earlier.
to be fair to them, I've initially told them to speak to you. My understanding of it from briefly speaking to them, that there were no injuries caused. So if there were no injuries caused, which
Still an accident, isn't it?
listen. If there's no injuries caused, then it be what we will class as a non-recordable RTC, road traffic collision, that we don't have to record. However, you're telling me that you have got an injury of some
Well, she was
form.
hit.
Yeah.
Yes,
hit.
so
So
just-
if you've been
Like
driven
half of a
at,
truck.
if you're driving along the road and you hit someone, you have to legally stop, report it to the
Yeah.
police and give your details. Regardless of whether someone's injured or not, you've hit them, you have to legally
Yeah.
So
report
we
it.
You can't just
will
So
deal with that, and we
he-
will take those relevant
Regardless
details.
of whether she had long-term injuries or not, she's been physically assaulted, she's been hit with a vehicle, and it was a deliberate act.
It's just
know.
mind blowing to me that we have to stand here and explain that that's wrong
know.
and that's an assault.
If that
Like,
was anywhere else, if it
as I've
happened.
said to you, I'm going to get these guys to come over to you, so you're more than happy to wait here, or you can go back over
Well,
them with me.
I'm taking part in the vigil.
Yeah.
And all you need is your details. I think you've given them
yeah,
already,
they've
haven't
got
you?
my details.
Okay.
All they need now is obviously the person who sits
Yeah.
his
So do we know?
details.
Have you got the? Do you have the details of that vehicle yourselves or not?
Yeah,
You
the
do?
reg. Yeah, yeah.
Marvellous. That's absolutely fine. So what I'll do is, do you want to stay here, or do you want to come with me, or do you want to wait here and I'll get them to come over and speak to you? How do you want to do it? Because we will need to just fill out some bits and pieces with you, so we'll probably need 5 minutes of your time.
I'll come with you,
You can do that
yeah.
at the end of the vigil if you want.
We could do it at the end if you want to do
Well,
that.
respectfully, if you're saying that you want it done, we need
Well,
to go
I'll
and
do it
speak to
now,
that.
yeah,
So if you're
I'll do
happy
it
to,
now,
we'll just get it done.
Just
speak-
yeah,
just
get it done.
and I could got a good taste of film from there as well. So. Wasn't very happy with your bit of quality assurance.
With Miss Barnes here. She says she's got an injury
Okay.
as a result of that, so if we can just take relevant details from her, we'll go and ascertain who the driver is, and then we'll proceed from there. Is that
I've
all
got
right?
her details already.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
need to fill out the bits and pieces in the book with her.
Yeah, I'll do
If
it straight
you
in
can
the
do
book.
that, if you can do that now with Miss
Yeah, I've got
Barnes.
one.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Lovely.
Got time. You got a CR1 in your bag?